Thursday. Bands are an incredibly versatile tool for accommodating a lift. They can add assistance or add resistance and create the specificity needed to overcome strength plateaus. So just as we've done with the deadlift in the past, we will be introducing a banded bench press on a bi-weekly rotation, and you will see this for the first 8 weeks of this program. All right. Now with your banded bench press, the way that we're going to set it up is onto a moderately heavy dumbbell on the floor, and you're double looping the bands over the inside of the bar, okay? So they're not there where you'll load the plates on, they're just there on the edge of the knurling, all right? So if I show you what that looks like, you'll take the band, cool, underneath the dumbbells, foot on the dumbbell, pull up and over, and then that's that, okay? Placement for the weight is going to be pretty much hard up against the uprights there, and that dumbbell isn't that heavy, okay? That's 22.5 kilos, so even that is enough weight to hold that banded tension down. But the taller you are, the longer your arms, the heavier the weight is going to need to be, and if you do go thicker than that band, obviously you'll want 25, 30, even 35 kilos on the floor. If you do have banded hooks at home, and you've got a rig that can slot straight into those, 100% use that. This is just a cheap and easy way to do it if you don't have a banded attachment. Now, in terms of the setup, everything is exactly the same. Hand placement, foot placement, shoulders are back and down in against the bench, and you are pushing yourself back with your legs. When you bring that bar out of the rack, it's going to feel a little bit weird and unstable initially if you're not used to it. Lower down with control for a 2 count as it is on the program, and then drive up with force. 2 count, drive up with force. When you're ready to rack it, straight back in the racks, and release. Okay, now if the red banded tension is too strong, and it will be for a lot of people, you want to get one of these little shoe strap bands. Now there is 0 gauge if you're using the Rogue ones, and what you want to do is the exact same thing. You will just loop that directly underneath, obviously stand on the dumbbell, bring it over, and it goes on the edge of the knurling there, okay? From there, everything else is exactly the same. Set up, drive back with your legs, hold yourself steady, 2-second count to get to the chest, and explode back up. Really important that you have options with your bands, because we haven't prescribed specific intensities for this part of the workout. Reason being is that you won't know the tension of your bands unless you actually use a unit to measure it, and it will depend on the length of your arms, because the further that you press, the more that they're going to stretch, therefore the more tension that is applied at the top of the lockout. Reason we're using the bands is for that reason. You will accelerate through the entire movement, and you won't slow down as you normally would when you come to that lockout at the elbow. So make sure that you use an appropriate banded tension for the next few weeks, and if you do find that the reds are too heavy, get yourself some of these lighter orange ones. The Landmine Meadows row will enter Thursdays at key points throughout the program. Aptly named after the late John the Mountain Meadows, it is relatively easy to execute, though take note of the foot stance and elbow positioning throughout the lift. This is a tough one on your grip, and that's an intended part of its place in the program.